Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day or night it is that you're joining us. I wish you the best of it. I'm Grant Lamontang from multitool.org, and this is EDC. Joining me tonight is my good buddy Inky, an online knife trader. How are you tonight, Inky?
Very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Also with us tonight is my good buddy Abe Elias, the field editor for Blade Magazine and owner of Diving Sparrow Knife Works. How are you tonight, Abe?
Good, guys. Good. Hopefully you guys are doing good.
Tonight we are going to be looking at EDC bags, but before we do that, let's get through some of our regular stuff. Inky, have you got anything new that you want to share with us this week?
I have something new. I don't know if I like it or not. Get this back. This thing. It's a little Schrade something. Wait, let me tell you what it's called. It's a Wolverine Mini. I bought it just for the buying of it because I thought I could keep it in my pocket.
Okay.
The steel, I'm not sure. Probably not that good. I kind of mistakenly thought it would be okay. It's 5 MN, but it comes in this little sheath here that has a pocket clip, and I loved carrying it. But it was really hard to get it in out of the sheath at first, and I dulled it a little, except for the tip. It's like a little razor. But I'm going to try to sharpen it and see if it'll hold up. But I only paid $10 for this, or $20.
Well, we all know my opinions of Schrade. If you spent $10 on it, then you spent $15.
That's
And
not enough.
that sheath looks like the type I like for a small belt sheath. Is you got
It's
to back
great.
into it so it guides the knife in without and protects
Yeah.
it at the same time. There's a barrier between you and the sheath as you go to put it in.
I
like
just think
that.
it was too tight at first, and you had to wiggle it too much, and I was definitely dulling it a little bit. You could see there's always something on it. But I love the thing. It's a belt clip, but it's a pocket clip. You know, it stays in your pocket. Nice. Just about that much is sticking out. And it's in reverse, which I like to carry when that is reverse. Either way, I pop the sheath out and take it out. You know, it's not like a weapon. It's an alternative to a folder, but the jury's still out on it. I got
At
a little
least I
CD.
like this design of the sheath because, like I said, I find that kind of difficult with knives that you kind of like carry on your belt if it's not a wilderness knife and you don't want to put it up front. Is making sure you don't slash your. I mean, at my weight, they use a lot of cloth to make my clothing, so it's not cheap to replace something I just slashed open.
As this is a knife show, I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that knife when you get a couple of miles on it, if you can get a few miles out of that thing.
Probably not.
So, if you work for Schrade or Taylor Cutlery and you want to give me shit for making fun of your crappy ass products, you can reach us at edctv@multitool.org. I have been talking smack about your crappy products for years, and if you would like to try to prove me wrong, you're more than welcome to send us some things and we will absolutely test them. Before we get into our main topic, I spotted a knife this week, well, actually a couple of weeks ago, that I've been meaning to talk about, and if you guys would indulge me, I would like to get your opinion on this. What do you guys think of this one? This is the Benchmade Undercurrent in depth blue Santoprene in a sheep's foot configuration with a plastic sheath.
I think it's like an Adira fixed blade, right? Like the Benchmade Adira, is that the word?
It's looking like their old canoe and kayak knife, just a little bit more updated.
Yeah, it's kind of got shades of Osborne shape, I think, in that blade.
That
And
thing looks just like the Adira. Look up the Adira.
let's have a look here.
Let me see the blade shape.
Oh, didn't their old canoe and kayak knife
That's
have
kinda
kind of like a
sheep-footy.
tip down thing?
Yeah, it's
Something
basically a
wrong?
fixed blade version of the Adira.
Like it's got that Griptilian blade, but with a big ramp up there. It's nice. It's cool. What's it? 27,000? How much is that one?
It's $340 Canadian. So
That's what I paid in my property taxes. Yeah.
yeah, it's probably a little too much for me to lose that over the side of the boat. So I don't think I'm going to get one, but I gotta say something about it kind of really appeals to me. I like the sheep's foot design. I like what seems to be a grippy handle on it, a big lanyard hole, which is important because rule number one of boating: if it's not secured, it's not yours, right? But yeah, if you drop that in the water, it's too dark to find it again. So
It's almost the color of the water.
there's a lot that I don't really like about it, but that doesn't stop me from wanting that.
I like it. I don't like the serrations, but you would know better if you need them. How big is the blade?
That is an excellent question here. Let me see if I can find some specs.
Looks like it might be a 5-incher, 4 and change
Uh,
at least.
yeah, I thought their old one had more of an angled nose to it, but no, it's got more of a chisel nose to it. But all I found was the diving knife. But
That's a great shaped blade for many, many things, man.
yeah,
Of
I
course.
I remember them having another one with a tip like that though. Maybe I'm thinking of another company.
4.3-inch blade.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't think that that'll be gracing my boats anytime soon. That's I bought cars for less than that, and
Hmm.
so yeah, that's a bit of a price tag. But
Probably be like what, 250-ish, right?
yeah, somewhere around there.
Eventually.
Yeah, take a
Well,
look
wait,
at
that's
the
340 Canadian, right? I don't know.
35 to 45% depending on the exchange rate. But take a look at the old Benchmade 100s River Rescue. That's
I
what the
remember
blade
that.
was reminding me of. Take a look at that. That's what the blade was reminding me of. It's kind of revise that blade a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. More of a blunt nose, right?
Yeah, and notice how the back handle on that one though has a lot of like the hundreds one, like the old one, looks
And
like it's got a Nimravis handle on it.
Yeah,
More,
yes, and the ramp is
yeah,
a little smaller too,
yeah.
or the handle shaped
But
differently.
I
But
was
yeah, the ramp
positive
is
I
smaller.
remembered that blade.
Yeah, you'd peg that, man. But I actually, you know what? I think I like that one better.
well, that's
Leishwitz makes nice stuff.
yes, yes, he does. I was just going to say that that's a common theme at Benchmade is to produce a knife for 6 months, discontinue it, come out with one very similar but in a slightly different color or with a couple of different handle cutouts, and pretend it's a new model and sell it again. As they did with
Oh,
the what was it, the Sentinel and the Dark Star, and I think there was a third
yeah.
Elishewitz model like that as well. But
They left the striker out there for a long time.
I liked
Matter
them
of
all,
fact,
and I
they
would have
might
bought
still
them
be
all.
making variants. What?
I said I liked all of the Elishewitz designs like that, and I would have bought
Yeah.
them all. So
Pardue too, I like, man. But where are we going? We gotta go back the other way.
yeah, yeah,
Let's go
definitely.
back the other way.
So that leads me into actually something else that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
I got a message from somebody on I don't know, Facebook or Instagram or something, somebody I know in my personal life, and they were asking me like, "Why do you post so many knives? Like, what do you need so many knives for? What's the difference? I don't see the appeal." And yeah, I know, very very offended. But I started to think
Okay.
about it. I mean, there's only so many different ways that you can, come up with a handle and blade configuration. Any one of those would be more than enough knife to do me for the rest of my life. But they're art. They're fantastic. They're beautiful, really, when you think about it. So there you go. There's my answer. Well, what do you guys think about that?
I'd say art is part of it. Something, viral. What's that word? Viral? Viral?
Visceral,
You know what I mean?
visceral,
That's the word, visceral.
visceral,
Yay!
Yeah.
10 points to Abe.
visceral,
Hey, good
visceral.
answer, good
I'm
answer.
a writer. I'm a writer. It's the word
Visceral. It's like
craft.
it's the visceral. I don't man, I've been addicted since I'm literally 5, 6. Just tattoos as well, though. Those are my and wallets, trucker wallets. But I don't know any other reason. Just gadgets, knives, wallets, um, watches,
Yeah, but what's
mostly tattoos, and yeah, all of them. I'm lying.
people ask me what the appeal is, and that's really it. Designers. There's certain designers that you like, certain designers that you don't like. There's certain stuff from certain designers that you like that you don't like, and there's certain stuff from certain designers that you don't like that you do like.
And
Um,
then there's some of us we know, some of us we don't know.
yes, exactly. So that was it for me. Once I put the art moniker on it, it really kind of came into its own as a thing.
It's actually true.
Yeah, and it is functional art as well. I mean, it's something that you can actually, make use of. Like if you have to open a thing of creamer at church.
I get the art and the appeal and things like that. And
It's cut my beer.
it's one of those hard things to explain, but at the same time, on their part too, we all understand it's marketing. And as long as they're giving us value for what they're asking for, I mean, that's the way I've always looked at it. Is like, do I value that knife? And then I'm like, nah, I don't like that guy's design. I don't have any value for it.
Yeah, well,
So
I'm just looking at it as, I can take a photo of, 13 guys sitting at a table. That doesn't make it a Da Vinci, right?
no, it doesn't. At the same time, that's like I said, that's you not finding value in it. I wouldn't, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't pay that kind of money for that knife either. But I wouldn't, right? I don't know if I'd say Like, I'm always a little leery about saying something's too expensive because I've known guys that would throw that cash down on something like that, tons of stuff.
Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of cash to throw down on that. And, there's, as I mentioned last week, there's two number one rules of boating, and that's always have a knife. And if it's not secured, it's not yours. And
Yeah.
that seems like far too much money for me to watch sinking to the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, that would hurt. There's no doubt about that. When you get an expensive knife, that's how safe queens get developed. People get a hold and they think, "Oh, I love this knife. I got to have it." Then they think about the fact, like, I'm going to have to use this. I'm going to damage it. It's going to show usage on it. Then they put it in the safe and it never goes anywhere.
I haven't gotten around to cleaning my last Benchmade boat knife yet, as we discussed there a couple of weeks ago. I have no issues using it, and this one was not a cheap one either. But yeah, it was not
Certainly
that
it wasn't.
expensive.
Yeah, it wasn't $300. The knives have, honestly, for a lot of people, they have gone up into a different category of how much you have to spend and where your income's at too, right? It's changed quite a bit. I remember when you used to be able to buy a Benchmade for sometimes under $100.
So, we have a topic tonight, which was EDC bags. So, you feel like starting us off there, Inky? What have you got in the way of EDC bags? What do you like?
I got a little history with them right now, but mine's in my truck again. But I got a bunch of other ones that I carry for different reasons and different times. My first ED, not my first, yes, my second EDC bag was this. Got it made in the 90s. It's a little tattooy thing on it. It was simple, one zipper pouch, right?
Yeah.
It's all
Okay.
handmade, as you can tell probably. And one side pouch. And all I carried in here this was my change and the easy wider. In here was 2 packs of Marlboro, wallet, cash, and keys. This was my EDC when I was younger.
Nice.
And my other paraphernalias.
What
Is that like a
then I
dragon on that bag?
What's that?
Is that like a dragon on that bag?
It's a dagger, a knife,
Oh, I can't see it.
with a
It's just-
snake wrapped around it, going through a heart.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I can see
it's a
that now.
tattoo. It's on my stomach too. You see it? Anyway,
We'll take your word for it.
then I got a Proteus Versapack, whatever it is, the one I still have in my truck 26 years ago, 25 years ago. So when I go on vacation, I use this as my luggage bag. I think it's a Glen Eagle Maxpedition.
Nice.
Okay.
I haven't used it much, so I don't go on vacation much. I carried this for a while in between and on vacation. There's a CountyComm bag.
Nice.
Okay.
I
lot
have
of nice
a
pockets.
Maxpedition bag that's very similar to that one. It's a little bit on the bigger side,
Yeah.
I think. It's called
This
the
is great.
Tactical Operator.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's an extra guy on eBay. I sent him an offer today for one of them. After, thank you very much. After this topic started, this has a little divider inside. The Glen Eagle has a bunch of stuff inside. Little stick-ons and add-ons. The Proteus is in the car. Here's one I loaded out and didn't use. Everything's really Maxpedition, but I've used both of these on and off. Which are these little guys? I got one a little bit bigger. This is the mini. And I got the one the next size up that's fat, that one. The one in your hand is the one I have in my truck right now, the bigger one, with the American flag on mine. I'm sorry. And this I would use for my iPod
Okay.
and some of the stuff that goes with it. So I kind of, on stick the little thing back here.
Okay.
It has that little handle.
Yep.
And, that was used for that.
There's the handle there
This
for anybody
one
who's
was-
wondering.
Yep. This one has it. This one's a step up in size, same kind of thing. But yeah, man, everything's pretty much Maxpedition because I know that it lasts, and I'll never buy another one of these again. Like everything Maxpedition I have one of.
Yeah.
Now, I had other things, but this is what I settled with.
If your name is
Um,
Tim and you own Maxpedition and you want to sponsor us at the EDC TV podcast because we keep talking about how much we like your stuff there, or if you'd like us to test new products, feel free to get a hold of us at edctv@multitool.org.
So I don't know if you want to discuss anything about these. And what's the big one you have there in your hand with the military patch on it? What was that one called?
It's not a military patch, it's a multitool.org
Right,
patch.
multi-tool patch.
Yeah.
That's the chubby organizer or something
Yeah,
like
I
that?
think that's the same one I have. The Fat Boy.
I'm not
That's the
entirely
one-
sure which model this is.
I think it's the chubby.
That
That sits in my truck.
I've had this one for years, and there's stuff falling out of it.
Yep.
This is actually not one I use all that much.
That's the one that Tim sent me actually in gray. And I
Okay.
have it in my console on my truck. It's loaded up, not Well, a lot, but I got a lot of stuff in it that I need.
That's the one Tim sent me most recently for testing. As you can see, there's a bunch of stuff in it that's falling out. There's my electric lighter and a Gerber EAB.
Yeah, you gotta open them like a book and leave them down sometime.
Yeah, well, ordinarily I have everything clipped in so that way when I open it up, everything doesn't fall out. But I must have taken this out for something and not put it back in properly.
And now they have those new micros, which I'm interested in getting my hands on one because they're basic. Well, it's little. This is this about the smallest thing I had in my pocket at one point in time next to a Viper.
Right.
But those micros are smaller. I'm interested in what those are like.
I think this is a micro.
This is
They've
either the
got it.
micro or the mini. I'm not really sure. It's
Not
either the
sure.
smallest or the second smallest.
What's inside of that thing? Here's what's inside of this. It's only 2 pockets and 2 elastics and 3 elastics.
Yeah, that looks about what I've got here. I guess I got a few more
Um,
elastics here because I've got one,
I'm pretty
two,
sure this is a
three,
micro.
4 on this
This is a
side
micro. It's
and
not.
only 3 on this side.
Let's measure. Let me measure this bad boy. Well, you can't tell because once they get used, it's not the same. This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
6 by 4 1/4.
I think
They
when
What's that
Tim
about?
was sending them out, I told him to send me the smallest one and the biggest one because I would just bookend the whole series. And
Here's one Tim sent me before they even came out. It's the Legacy, what do you call this thing?
was that the Platus or something?
Schrade. Yeah, before it came out, he sent it, but I had a family thing going on. I couldn't get to the review of it. He sent me 2 of these, the smaller one too,
Yeah.
and they're nice.
Yeah, that one. So the some of the new that Platus one reminds me of my Viper that I have. With it kind of reminds me form style
Hmm.
how they organize it. But I'm looking for they got the Platy pouch organizer, the wallet one. But they had one before that where they were really really small. I forget, and that's the only way I can tell the difference half the time is if I look at the measurements. I gotta, because let's be fair, nothing wrong with this, but just to tell what you're looking at, sometimes they're splitting the measurement on a pouch by a half inch. Makes it really sometimes kind of like somebody holds one up and it's like, wait, hold on, let me get the measuring tape out.
Well,
Pico Pocket. There it is. That's the new one. The Pico.
okay.
It's
Is that
sold
the
out right.
Roscoe Pico or just the regular Pico?
It's Pico Pocket Organizer, and they're sold out right now. But I think that was the one they came out with before the Platy and the other one. And I wanted the Pico. I wanted the Pico because if you give me a bag of a certain size, unfortunately, I will put some stuff in it, and then it'll get too heavy. And now I'm carrying it around in my cargo pocket, and I get tired of carrying it after a while.
Well, see, that's the problem. So this thing here, I've got pretty full, and so my thought might be that I might actually, rather than stuff this one, I might actually move up to this one. But then the problem is then you have extra space, and so you start shoving more stuff into it, and then this one is jam packed full. And then you think, well, geez, now I need to go to a bigger one. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm really
combine
desperately
them?
trying to stay with this guy.
So the Pico is 2.5 centimeters by 8 centimeters by wide. So it's thick. It's thick by 2.5 centimeters. It's wide by 8.3 centimeters, and its height is 12.7 centimeters. And for people who work in inches, it's 5 inches tall by 3.25 inches wide by 1 inch thick.
You can use it as a wallet.
Yeah, well, it's looks because that 1 inch, it's got some expansion to it. I wouldn't mind trying that, but on the other hand, like for instance, I do a lot of Value Village, like thrift store shopping, and I can't find it. I found a Condor pack, but it wasn't like it's not like Maxpedition where it's open like a book. It opens kind of like a clamshell, right?
Yeah.
And then I found this knockoff of a Maxpedition, and so far it's been pretty good. So, and it looks exactly, it's a little bit bigger. Again, we're splitting hairs. You look at it next to me. It's a little bit bigger than this one. But the Condor one I found that at Valley Village one day for like $2, $3. And I can't find it. It must have ran away inside my apartment. Do you now, Inky,
Oh,
with the ones that you have, you said you leave one in your console in your truck. Do you ever carry any of those on you? Like, is there a size you carry personally on you? No. Okay.
I'm not. I try. I don't like carrying things in my pocket, even though I want to. That's why I wanted to try those wallets out, and
Yeah.
kind of holding off on that. Trying to
Yeah.
wait for you guys. But I think that'll do it. I don't know. Find out.
That's cool. I like the leather one. Leather one's got style.
Yeah, it's old, man. I got that made in the 90s. I carried it for years and years. The guy that made it's great. He made me a bunch of stuff.
So it's obvious we all like Maxpedition products. What are there any other brands that you guys like? What do you think of like 511 Tactical or some of the more affordable Ruco stuff?
Some of the stuff looks really good. I think in the end, it's like when I show you my pack, Samsonite. Mine's a Samsonite backpack,
Okay.
and you would figure it'd be really nice and durable, but unfortunately, the mesh on the inside of one of the sleeves. I don't know if we can show this. See, it's separated. So,
Yeah.
um, so style form. There's a lot of stuff out there that looks good, but because I've never had my hand on it, I don't know whether or not it's the kind of thing I want to invest in. Right, like a Vertex backpack. God, those are $300 for a Vertex backpack.
Are they really that much?
Yeah, there's some of their models are like 299. But
Yeah.
again, if for that item, if it was something where I'd buy one backpack and I could go through like a nuclear war, maybe an alien invasion with, and then maybe a Black Friday Walmart special to top it off, and and survive it, it would be something worth getting, right? Especially
Yeah.
The Black Friday Walmart
Yeah, I was gonna
special.
say I could see everything but that.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough hill to climb, you get trampled. You might the bag might survive it, but you'd be a pancake by the time you were done.
The-
Yeah. So, like, I've got a couple other bags, like, I've got some Blackhawk bags, and I have a Sierra Design bag along with some of the Maxpeditions I have. The difference is the Blackhawks took a crap kicking, but they're not organized for everyday carry. They're dump bags. They have 2 pockets, extra pockets, and then when you put something in, it's cavernous, so then you have to have a sub-organizing system. So that was a little bit disappointing that way, but the Sierra Design was better organized, and I didn't do massive stuff with it, but for the longest time when I was doing trade shows, when I worked for Lee Valley and I was flying 2 years, I was flying in and out of Detroit all the time. That was my carry-on luggage. And basically the story, what I'm getting at is it's hard to find proper organization, proper exterior design, and match that all up with durability. It's really, I think that's the part that I've always struggled with was finding something that had all three. And let's face it, when you're buying bags, it's not like I can run into somebody who's got a buck knife and say, "Oh, Buck's got good quality," or the legendary quality of Spyderco precedes itself wherever you go. So if Spyderco made a bag and they kept to that adherence with their bag, I know I'd get the same thing with Maxpedition. You get what I'm getting at.
yeah.
But then all of a sudden, it's like that Samsonite. You remember the old commercials where they had the gorilla beat the crap out of the Samsonite luggage? So I figured I
I
was
was the
buying.
gorilla.
You read the gorilla? Wow, you've really lost a lot of. No, just
Yeah.
yeah.
Unfortunately, Samsonite has come a long way since then, and I don't find their products nowadays to be anywhere near what they used to be.
Yeah, this bag is about 4 years old, 5 years old. It's 5 years old now. And, it hasn't held up terribly except for the strap. Um, that's basically it. Like I just find those are the three pillars, right?
I'm just trying to find. I have a messenger bag from another company, but I don't remember who it was. So I'm just trying to look it up on the forum here.
Now I have a couple of day packs that are mech ones, but mine were camping, so they were like carrying a bucket on your back, right? They were just one cylinder. Like I have the legendary Clutter sack, and then they made a grade up from the Clutter sack, which was called the Weeping Wall. And both those bags, yeah, those I put through a crap load. So I'm actually on my second Clutter sack because I forget somehow I lost it. The first Clutter sack on a move from Quebec, I lost it somewhere in the move, but I loved it. And they don't even make that thing. I don't think they make the Clutter sack anymore.
I don't know. I haven't seen one in years, but then, there's no Maxpedition dealer around here. However, there's no shortage of Ruco bags at some of the local Army Navy stores and places like that.
Yeah. Do you guys don't
Well,
have you don't have a mech dealer out where in your area?
I have a Mac nearby. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Clutter sack.
Hmm.
The Clutter sack is a magnet. So is the Weeping Wall. That was their legendary first day pack. That got them so much. Just that simple bag. It was a simple. Actually, you know what? It was
Let's have a
funny.
look here.
I know a guy who used to take that Clutter sack, and he was a canoeist, and he used to put an old olive drum. You buy the big stores would sell olives in the big drums. Well, they'd sell them out of the big drums. And he clean one out, and he'd put that in there, and that was his waterproof bag. He would take that canoeing.
I don't see one listed on the Mac website, but then
It's gone.
Yeah, they've
They
discontinued a
got rid
lot
of
of
it.
their stuff over the years.
Like that weeping wall, it was a little bigger than the clutter sack, but you could expand the clutter sack with, they had 1 liter wings to it. You could buy a 1 liter or 2 liter wing that went to each side. They were legendary. Anybody who did hiking back in the 70s and 80s, that was, you would have been hard pressed to walk by anybody, especially, out west, and not pass them. You wouldn't see at least one clutter sack on somebody's bag for a day hike. They were indestructible.
So what else have you got there, Inky?
Just playing with stuff now. Now I'm like trying to sell big. That's it. That's really it right here in front of me. Yeah, just what I showed you. Just showing you from big to small. That's all. Well, like this, I didn't use that much. This, you could tell it wears a little wear in the handles, a little warping here. It's not as good as Maxpedition, but I think it's CountyComm. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not Maxpedition.
That reminds me a lot
Got
of
a
the Maxpedition.
lot of great pockets. What?
As I said, that reminds me of the Maxpedition tactical operator that I have, and I carried
Love
that
it.
around to shot and business trips and all kinds of things for years. And I tell you, if it wasn't for that stupid plastic insert on the ID panel, you'd swear it was brand new too.
Yeah,
Does
they're amazing.
do we know of any way to keep those from yellowing and cracking, or do we know of anybody who has like a replacement or a solution for that kind of thing?
I would put mineral oil on it. Believe it or not, let it sit there and then wipe it off.
Well, once it's already cracked, I think it's a little too late for that.
Yeah,
I'm
yep,
thinking about just
that's
cutting the
great.
damn thing out.
Can you
Yeah.
undo those stitches without doing the stitches on the rest of the pocket?
I mean, possibly, but I'm not entirely sure which stitches are which. So rather than take
You
that
could
chance,
say,
Because I have a
Yeah,
bag
then-
like that too, but I use that for a range bag because the one I had had multiple pockets on the side for magazines, and so that's what I used mine for. But I haven't used it in a while. It was a 511. Mine was a 511 bag. So
yeah, those are supposed to be good too. Who made those? Did 511 make their own?
I'm not sure who they had making theirs for them.
this is my tactical operator, and like I said, you've got this clear panel over here,
Yeah.
and that's dried up and yellowed and cracked. And I think I might have lost one of the elastics that for the water bottles. But I tell you, I've got a lot of miles on one of these bags, and other than the plastic being yellowed and cracked and gone, this bag could pass for new. And to be honest, I really should just go back to using it because I've been carrying more backpacks lately, but I've been thinking about going back to the messenger style bags, and I keep looking, and just nothing seems to be appealing to me. So why would I go get a new bag when I have this perfectly good bag sitting there waiting to go back into service?
I would love to have that bag.
Yeah, and you know what that reminds me of is you see it in a lot of the guys that sell cop gear. That reminds me of a car bag that a cop usually carries to keep their stuff in their office stuff. Because they got to do reports stuff like that. And for you, I know for a while there you were working on the road quite a bit. That would have been the perfect bag to put in your passenger seat right next to you
Oh, this
with your
thing
tablet. Yeah,
got thrown in the passenger seat of the Jeep a million times, and dragged back out and used as I prop it in my lap and put my laptop on top of it to, get the laptop into a better position. I mean, this thing's just been fantastic to me.
and they still make that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they make. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, but
Yeah.
man, again, we're talking about. I'm not like. Again, I for myself, I always just speak for myself. That $231.
Well, it's
That I'd
it's
have to
two
save
for
for
one,
that.
so we can say that it's half that really.
Well,
Uh,
does anybody want to split one? Inky, you want to split one with me?
I was gonna
When
say
are we splitting? I missed it.
tactical operators, buy one, get one free from Maxpedition. I've
And you
already
know
got
what?
one.
By the time you get them and pay for them and ship one, you paid more than you could separately.
Really?
Every
Okay.
time I see that, I think I'm going to buy something and sell one. If we split them down the middle, we might save a couple of bucks.
How many times
Let's
have
see.
Abe and I had that discussion about, oh yeah, it's BOGO time at Maxpedition. What do you want? Let's go get one.
Yeah, I get tool bags. I actually have a tool bag from a company called Vito Pro bags, and it's old. It's probably good 6-7 years old, and it looks incredible. I don't carry it with me much anymore because it's this, and this kind of leads into something else I wanted to talk about too. Everybody has mixed feelings about it, is because the gray man idea. If you got the gray man idea with your bags, Well, the reason why I don't carry this thing is it's so expensive. It signals that you've got expensive crap when you're on a job site. So if there's another tradesperson there that likes stealing stuff, they as soon as they see that Vito Pro bag, if they don't want to steal the whole bag itself, they'll look inside for your tools because they see that you're somebody who spends money on your tools.
Yeah.
But if I don't know, Grant can bring it up. They have started making everyday carry bags, which
Actually,
resemble.
it's funny that you should mention that because I was just actually pulling up a forum page to talk about the next bag I wanted to talk to you about, which is the Maxpedition Entity 27. And I
Mm.
wasn't gonna bring this one up because well, I know how Abe wants this one, and I don't know that it's available anymore. But
No, it's not, and so I've kind of gotten over it. But if what I was going to have you do is bring up the Vito Pro bag because it's a different type of everyday carry bag, and they're extremely well, like they're super durable. I mean, if they can carry around, 30 pounds worth of tools, they should be able to carry your EDC gear. And I've been looking at those, but again, they're expensive. This is the one. Is this yours? Did you get a black one, all black?
no, it's gray. That
Oh, it
that is
looks.
mine. Those are my photos. That's actually me in that photo.
Yeah, it looks like a dark gray, maybe because you're
Mm,
wearing
you
a white
look
shirt.
nice.
Let me see here.
Mm.
So
So
yeah, this is one of my most used bags. This is obviously when it was brand new. This was not a cheap bag at the time, and I don't imagine it has gotten any better. Uh,
how is those? I was wondering about those entity things, whatever they're called.
it's nice because it it doesn't scream military bag, so you don't look like you're carrying a number of concealed firearms on you. Um,
Yeah.
Or just you got a prepper attitude. Like, I mean, people look at
Yeah.
military bags and they're thinking, okay, that's a prepper or something of that nature. Not necessarily true, but they might think it. As where if you see something like that, that looks like he could be an office guy, a programmer. It could be just a book bag, and that's it's not so much about the it's just making sure nobody looks at you like they want to mug you because you got resources.
yeah. So I've got another one from them. Unfortunately, I don't have any photos handy. And it is a Maxpedition bag. I believe Megan picked it up at the SHOT Show from Maxpedition. So I mean, there's no possibility of it being a fake, but it looks almost exactly like one of those JanSport bags that you see all the kids with these days.
Oh yeah, they got that line. That's kind of funny because it's really plain Jane. It's like super. You could put a JanSport tag on it. You'd never know. It's straight main compartment, small pocket, and I think two wings, one for water bottles or something like that.
Yeah, something
It
like
looks,
that.
yeah, it's totally. You'd never look at that guy and think, yeah, maybe he's got a book bag, but again, he'd look so inconspicuous.
That's my only real problem with that entity bag is it doesn't actually have a water bottle pocket. The two wing pack things on either side, they're like admin pouches and pockets for carrying other small things. They're really not very good for water bottles, and there is an exterior pocket on the outside of those.
Yeah, that line from Maxpedition is called the Prepared Citizen, and they've got a Prepared Citizen and a
Yeah,
Prepared Citizen Deluxe.
yeah. So you can see that there is an exterior pocket here, but this doesn't really hold a water bottle very well. It's a
Oh,
very flat pocket.
Yeah.
So, other than the fact that, it doesn't really hold a water bottle very well, I like these side handles that it has. I like the handle on the top. They're all very robust. The laptop section is very well padded, although I think that's 3 laptops ago. And it does have this hidden firearms pouch if you want it.
is the quality the same as the regular denier or whatever you call these things? Thousand
Well, what
food ploppers?
what year is this that I posted this? This is
I mean, compare it
2018
to
that
your
I posted this,
briefcase.
and I'm still carrying this thing, and it still looks exactly the same as that.
What about compared to your briefcase? Just as nice, you think? Or do you think that's a little bit stronger?
I would say that it's hard to say. I'd say that the tactical operator bag is kind of more like my Jeep, and this thing's more like an F-150. They're both tough in their own right. I wouldn't go bouncing around an F-150 on the trails that I take my Jeep on, but then, my Jeep doesn't haul nearly as much as an F-150 will. So,
Yeah.
they're both plenty tough, I think. I like that this one has the waist strap, although to be honest, I've never really used it. It's nice to know that it's there if I have it.
I used to have a mountain equipment co-op bag. So when I was going to university, I had one of those green canvas things looked like army green canvas and had the 2 pockets in the back and
Yep.
the leather buckles and stuff like that. Well, I wore through it from carrying it so much. So I got a bag from Undercurrent Co-op. And if yours works like this, it was a backpack, no waist belt though, but you could tuck away the shoulder straps in a compartment, zip it up, and then it turned into a shoulder bag. And I love that because sometimes you don't want to carry a backpack. If you're going into an office building, you don't want to be, but now back then a backpack wasn't really accepted in an office building. And now I
Yep.
think you could probably get away with it.
Well, 90% of the time when you're carrying a backpack, you've only got one strap over your shoulder anyway. So
Yeah. See, and I'm
unless
not a
you're
one
taking it any
shoulder.
distance or you're going hiking or something,
Yeah.
you're not throwing both straps on.
But I had, and that's the other thing too, which we're leading into. I've got one here, but I've got it filled with stuff. I had a small sling bag. So when I went back to school for machining, that carried all my textbooks, but it wasn't really big.
Mhm.
But the thing I loved about it was that belt buckle. It was, you put it over your shoulder, hold onto the belt buckle, grab the strap, bring it around, and the sling bag rode a lot more solid than people would think it might. They might. So different story. I had
They make slings with waist straps, don't they?
They do.
Or chest
Actually,
straps, like?
Maxpedition does as well, and that's,
Yeah.
probably my next most, used
See, I've got a
Maxpedition
fat
bag
boy.
is a Sitka.
Yeah, see,
Fat
I've
boys are great.
got a fat boy, but I never really got into carrying it much. I've loaded it up, carried it a couple times, and then I moved on to the bigger backpack. So
I
I've
bought
actually,
that and didn't keep it. It
yeah,
was 2 in between for me, like,
yeah,
man, I really want that
to size
knife
up.
collector's briefcase, but
Oh,
the jumbo Fat Boy, no, I don't want that either. I
no,
really want that knife collector's briefcase, though.
I
If
would think the
anybody has
jumbo.
one of those jammies,
I think
the bad thing about that is it's filled with those plastic windows that you don't like.
Yeah.
oh,
That's kinda why they went out of I think they discontinued them, you know?
I look back and I think I would have liked the jumbo fat boy more. I think because
Yeah,
this is
it's a lot
nice
bigger.
for small stuff, but it
Mm.
fills up really quick.
I always have minimal, always, like, I couldn't fill up this CountyComm bag. I don't know, was it 14 by 12 maybe? I can't fill this. You know what I do love about this though? Has this long zipper pouch here. It's like a nice fixed blade or something. Just to hold a nice small Randall or something. Something nice like that you could carry. Like, here's that knife against this pouch. A lot
Yeah,
more. Or you could put a pair of chucks in there.
Here's a photo of me climbing a mountain with a, Maxpedition Sitka, and I used to refer to that as my adventure bag because it came with us on all our adventures. I would shove one of those mountain house boil in the bag meals and a little camp stove and some water and pretty much everything we would need for, whatever we were doing. Um,
yeah. So that looks like the one that I had for my book bag for going back to school. That looks about the same size, has the same form where there's a small pocket up top and a big one on the outside. Yeah, and I loved it. It was a great bag. Quick, you get out of class or you're running late for class, you can throw it on and go. And
yeah.
it's just nice and tight.
Well, the nice thing about that one is it's got the third strap that kind of goes around your side if you really need more stability out of it.
Yeah.
So I
That
really like that kind of a thing.
I kinda yeah, I like so the jumbo is to me is kinda like a sling bag, except for the only thing when I do look at it, when they're talking about it, all of a sudden goes into my memory that it does hook to your side. You can put it behind you, but it's kind of more attuned to being on your side. And if you're a big guy like me, that's extra width, and you're already having enough time squeezing between people in aisles and stuff like that, let alone having that on you. The reason why I want you to look up the Vito Pro thing is I want you to see how they approach the EDC bag and see what you think about that. Because they approach the EDC bag just like they approach their tool bag, and I'll point it out because I've got, like I said, I've got a handbag. It's called like it's the hand tote one that you use for tools, and it's built like a freaking tank.
Is this what you're looking for?
Yeah, is that their EDC bag? No, First Tool Bag Company. So look, type in there. See, there's their ED. That looks more like their EDC stuff. A little less tool looking. And they have them in multiple colors. Like you can get them in tan and stuff like that.
Is that leather or leather looking?
That looks like a newer one. I'm not used to that one. I haven't seen that one
CountyComm's
before.
making this stuff look like that now too.
Water resistant 600D waxed polyester and highly durable thermoform base.
That's the one I wanted to talk to you about because I see. Okay, so I'm looking at it on the site myself. If you find the Maybe they've gotten rid of the, let me see. I think they've gotten rid of the backpack, the, um, tan ones. This might be a whole new line for them, but it's that base. So that base, I've often looked at that, thought to myself, that base means no matter what you do, the bag itself never falls over. It never gets into the mud. It's waterproof. Um, that's I'm wondering, but at the same time, there's bulk there. The bag doesn't collapse. It never gets thinner than that base, but that base is basically a really tough. I don't know whether it's rubber or polythermal. I mean, mine is like a hard plastic.
Highly durable thermoformed base. So
Yeah, so it's a
thermoform plastic like a Kydex or something.
yeah, it's tough. It's like to date, I have not damaged my base on my bag. I have an MC Tech. I have a Tech bag. Um, and it's nice. I like it. The only thing I dislike about those in Vita Pro was when I first started doing jobs and carrying a tool bag, I carried an electrician's bag with an open top. So I never had to unzip and look for which tool I wanted.
Right.
I just looked down into the bag. But like I'm looking at this one now, it's called an LCB EDC pack LCB Desert. And it kind of looks like a Jant sports bag again, except for the base. So I don't know what you guys think
Is that the one?
of carrying around a hard based bag. Sorry?
Is this the one you're looking at? EDC
I mean,
Pack LCB Desert?
yeah. So that doesn't all except for the base, it really doesn't stand out, does it? It looks like an RNA day pack.
Yeah, it looks like a rugged everyday type backpack. It does look expensive, and I tell you,
It is.
I would think that somebody, if I was so inclined, somebody carrying an expensive pack like that has probably got some expensive stuff in it. And
Well, that's the whole thing. It doesn't scream that, right? It doesn't scream like if you look at the tool bags, they say Vita, they got a big banner on 'em or a big patch on it says Vita tool bag. And right now they're having a sale that if you buy their spring sale, you buy something, you get something free. So what a lot of guys do if they want a bag, they'll buy the bag, take the freebie that they send them and sell that to offset the price.
right. So, Vito Pro, if you want us to test out some of your bags here on the air, we will definitely give them a fair shot. Feel free to send us an email at edctv@multitool.org.
Yeah. But what do you think about the hard base? That's what I really wanted to get some feedback on. Would you entertain a hard based backpack? Because it's durable, but at the same time is bulky.
Yeah, provided it meets airline regulations. I think that would be the main concern for me. Just because I've got 1,001 bags already, I really don't need another one. So to get into something like that, it would be something that I would want to be able to take with me anywhere. And I don't travel as much for work as I used to, but I definitely used to travel quite a bit.
Yeah. I've just never had one of these. Like if it's the same width as my MTC bag, my medium tech, that's what it stands for, medium tech bag. It would not be that wide.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is it that you do for a living there, Abe?
I consult people on podcasts on what they should actually carry for tools because of my credentials. That's my expertise.
Well,
And on that note,
well,
everybody, if you want to join us on the forums and discuss some of the bags that you carry, maybe introduce us to some brands that we haven't mentioned here, you can find us on the forums at
forum.multitool.org.
there you go.
So that brings us to the end of another show then. Do we have any parting thoughts that we want to share? Abe, you want to go first?
No, I think we covered a lot of stuff here. It's just it's another thing like knives. If I have to say, you got to be careful because Grant kind of alluded to it. He's got so many bags. You could spend your whole entire life loading and unloading EDC bags because you've bought a new one.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I can never find the one that I want, so I go out and I buy another one before a trip usually. So what about you, Inky? Have you got any final thoughts that you'd like to share with the people at home on our way out the door?
yeah, don't cut Garrison leather belts with Victorinox scissors because the scissors just won't quit. So don't do it.
That's good to know.
That's right, Rambo.
So that pretty much does us
Just shop
for
them.
another week here at EDC TV. Want to thank you all for joining us. Feel free to come and visit us at forum.multitool.org, or if you want to fire us off an email, you can get us at edctv@multitool.org. And that is all at multitool.org because that is our parent company and the sponsor of this podcast that you have been enjoying and probably occasionally yelling at. So come visit us on the forum. We're also on the socials, but those are owned by billionaires, and our site gives back to the community. The community that we're all enjoying right now by listening to podcasts like this. And last I checked, billionaires don't do shit for us. So come visit us on the forum. Post any questions or thoughts you have. As Abe said, we'd like to hear what kind of bags you're carrying and what's in them. While you're at it, if you don't mind hitting that like button or the subscribe button, maybe give us a good rating. Thank you very
Yeah,
much, and we will talk to you all next week. Have a great week, everybody.